The Shallows is a thriller directed by Wame Colette Sarah, I hope I didn't butcher that too much, and stars Blake Lively. It's a story about a girl who's basically on like this dream adventure vacation and goes to this beach where her mom used to go to when she was younger. Now, on this dream vacation, she goes out surfing and swimming and all this other stuff, and she eventually gets injured. And she ends up on this rock about 200 yards away from shore. And of course, what's worse than that is that there's this giant shark that's swimming around her and tormenting her the entire time. The movie is essentially a survival story, and I was a little bit concerned when it started because I thought it might end up being like a found footage film or maybe like 127 hours but in water, and thankfully it was not. This was actually a pretty decent film, but this is easily the best shark movie since Jaws, at least in my opinion. Or Deep Blue Sea. I like Deep Blue Sea, so somewhere in that range of shark movies. There were a lot of positive aspects to this film that I actually wasn't expecting because this film actually wasn't really on my radar, but since I'm starting this whole movie review thing and trying to be a little bit more out there with my choices and not being so selective, I'm trying to see as much as I can, and this happened to be one of the films that showed up. So I'm definitely glad I saw this film. It's absolutely stunning visually. It's got amazing like scenery, absolutely beautiful scenery. The beach that they're at is beautiful. They filmed it, I believe, in Australia, but in the movie they're supposed to be in Mexico. So geographically I'm kind of confused. But it's absolutely stunning and beautiful scenery. The shark, which was actually CGI, was also very, very amazing. I was very impressed. Towards the end of the film, I think it started to lack a little bit. Like, the more you saw the shark, the less visually stunning it looked. But when we first see the shark of the film, it looks absolutely amazing. The CGI is beautiful. Also, speaking of beauty and scenery, the use of colors is absolutely amazing. The water is super, super blue. The trees are amazingly green. The use of color, even like the blood in the water, is like super, super cool. I love how it sort of floats into, like the red floats up through the blue. It's such a stunning visual experience, and I think it's definitely worth seeing at least for that. And of course, Blake Lively. Although I haven't really seen a whole lot of her work other than like Savages and Accepted, she was she was good too. Yeah, she was also in the film. The story to The Shallows, I felt, was pretty okay. Like, it wasn't like overly impressive. The backstory that they gave to Blake Lively's character was pretty good. But as good as that aspect of the story was, I didn't feel like the film was overly engaging. Like, the whole first half of the film was really good, but once she starts getting onto the rock and like eventually she gets to a buoy, like, it gets sort of to be a little bit, like, it starts to drag on a bit. Like, okay, we get it. You're stuck in the water. Like, I felt like there should have been a little bit more. But what can you really do when you're stuck on a rock 200 yards away from shore and there's this giant shark circling and tormenting you? And other than that struggle with sort of pace and timing of the film, I feel like there was only one major glaring flaw throughout this film. So just before Blake Lively's first interaction and encounter with this shark, she swims out on her surfboard getting ready to surf, and she sees like this thing in the water. She goes up to it and there's a bunch of birds on it. And it's a dead whale with these bite marks on it. And it's there the entire movie. You can see it in the background 90% of this movie. Which begs me to ask, there's thousands upon hundreds of thousands of whale meat sitting right there in the ocean. Why is he tormenting this girl on a rock? Now, I am no shark expert, but based on what Shark Week has taught me through the various years, sharks are much more instinctual and would most likely ignore a girl on a rock who is serving really no purpose. Maybe like her, because she is injured, so maybe the blood in the water is more attractive, like fresh blood versus already coagulating blood. Do whales' blood coagulate? I would assume so. But like dead whale, like thousands of pounds of meat for a meal, and you're going after like 100-pound girl, if she's even 100 pounds. But I mean, that's the biggest glaring mistake I saw throughout this film. Other than that, there's a point towards the end where, again, I was questioning, like, wait a minute, which I don't want to spoil here because I want you guys to see this film. But overall, I'm going to have to give the grade for The Shallows is a C+. I think it's a good movie to watch if you just want to watch a fun thriller, or if, like, you've just watched everything you could possibly watch for Shark Week, and, like, maybe you've seen Jaws 8,000 times. This is a fun thriller involving a shark and sort of like survival that I think is worth watching. But I don't feel like it's like you need to go out and see this movie like right now. I don't feel like it's that good. But it is definitely worth watching at some point. Have you seen The Shallows? If you have, let me know down in the comments below where you think it ranks among the best shark movies. Jaws, Deep Blue Sea. If you must include like Mega Shark and like Sharknado, throw those in there too. But let me know where you think it ranks among shark movies. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and like always, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos, and we'll see you in the next one.